Ever get that feeling like you're, banging your head against the keyboard when Acumatica just refuses to cooperate?
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Oh, yeah, especially during those physical inventory counts.
Ugh, don't even get me started. Trying to input items with zero stock.
Oh,
It's like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole.
it really is. It's one of those things that seems so simple, like on the surface, right?
Yeah,
And then, bam, you hit that system limitation, and suddenly you're just drowning in frustration.
exactly. And that is the exact problem that our guest expert, Balaji D, tackled.
Oh, yeah.
He is an associate principal consultant at Tiana Solutions. And let me tell you, this guy has seen it all.
I bet.
Over 500 unique Acumatica scenarios
Wow.
and counting.
That's a lot.
He was working with this major medical supplies client
Okay.
when this whole zero stock inventory issue just popped up.
Medical supplies. Talk about high stakes. Inventory management in that industry is mission critical.
Oh, absolutely. So picture this, a huge medical supplies company, multiple locations, tons of inventory.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you.
They were so excited
Oh, I bet.
to finally ditch those manual inventory counts and embrace Acumatica's, digital system.
Makes sense.
But their excitement, I think, quickly turned to panic when they discovered they couldn't record any items with zero stock in the system.
Oh, you can practically hear the collective groan from the warehouse.
Oh, I know.
Can't you? I mean, imagine the chaos if they couldn't accurately track their inventory.
Oh, it would be a nightmare. And think about the ripple effect. Delayed orders, inaccurate financial reports, potentially even impacting patient care.
Yeah.
It's not just a system glitch.
No.
It's a major business disruption.
It is a huge problem, and that's where Balaji's expertise really shines.
Right.
He understood just how serious this situation was, and instead of just, throwing his hands up in the air, he dug in and he found a solution.
I like him already.
And get this, it's surprisingly elegant.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat. What did he come up with?
So Balaji created what he calls a reference item. Think of it as like a placeholder item within Acumatica.
Okay.
It doesn't actually represent a real product, but it serves like a crucial purpose.
So it's like a virtual item just to kind of get around this system limitation.
Exactly. And he gives this reference item like a small amount of stock.
Oh.
Even 1 unit will do.
I got you.
This small quantity is what tricks the system into thinking, okay, there's at least some stock associated with the specific inventory type that the client's using.
Hold on, you mentioned inventory types.
Yeah.
Can you explain that a little more for those of us who might not be as familiar with those?
Sure, Acumatica offers different methods for physical inventory counts, right? So you can count every single item,
Right.
which can be a huge undertaking for larger companies.
Yeah.
Or you can just focus on specific categories, like your high-value items.
Okay.
There's also something called cyclical counting, where you count portions of your inventory on a rotating schedule.
I see. So the method that you choose really depends on the size and complexity of your inventory.
Exactly.
In this case, the medical supplies company had chosen to count specific inventory items.
Right, and that's where this reference item workaround is really useful.
Okay.
By mapping this reference item with its tiny amount of stock to the client's chosen inventory type, Balaji basically created a backdoor for all of those zero stock items.
So when the client initiates the physical inventory count, the system sees that reference item and thinks, okay, there's stock here, we can move forward.
Exactly. The system no longer blocks the import of those zero stock items because it's tricked into thinking that there's at least one item with stock within that inventory type.
It's like you're using the system's logic against itself.
Yeah, in a way.
That's brilliant. But I have to ask, what happens to this reference item once all the zero stock items are imported? Does it just kind of hang out in the system forever?
That's a great question, actually. I was wondering the same thing. Do we just leave this, phantom item just lurking in the system?
No, not at all. Once the client has imported all of their inventory data, including all those, zero stock items, Balaji guides them through the process of removing that reference item.
Think of it as like a temporary key, right? It unlocks the door, but once everybody's inside, you don't need the key anymore.
Makes sense. So the reference item does its job and then poof, it's gone.
Exactly.
But then doesn't that mean the system will go right back to blocking zero stock items?
Well, that's the beauty of it. No, once those zero stock items are in the system, they're there to stay.
Okay.
Removing that reference item doesn't erase the data that's already been imported.
So it's like a magic trick, but with inventory management.
Right?
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to recap, we create the reference item, give it a tiny little bit of stock, map it to the right inventory type, let all the zero stock items in, and then poof, reference item disappears.
Exactly. It's such a simple but effective solution, and really any Acumatica consultant can implement this.
Yeah.
It really highlights the power of creative problem solving within the Acumatica framework.
And that's what this deep dive is all about, right?
Yeah.
Uncovering those hidden gems that make our lives as consultants so much easier and ultimately help our clients succeed.
Absolutely. And if we want to connect this back to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
this workaround really proves that you don't always need these complex customizations or expensive add-ons to solve problems in Acumatica.
Right.
Sometimes a little ingenuity and a deep understanding of the system's logic can go a long way.
Couldn't agree more. So to all of our fellow Acumatica consultants out there, if you're struggling with those pesky zero stock items, remember Balaji's brilliant workaround.
Yes, and if you're facing any other Acumatica challenges, remember that Tiana Solutions is here to help.
Absolutely.
They have a whole team of experts just like Balaji who are passionate about finding these, elegant solutions to even the most complex Acumatica problems. So don't hesitate to reach out to them at 678-910-2774 for expert guidance and support.
Great advice. Thanks for diving deep with us today. We'll catch you next time for another insightful exploration of the Acumatica world.